So, I wanted to watch Blizzard's new content patch live stream. I chose to watch Taliesin and Andy Vitel's channel to take this in. They're funny.
Keep that garlic
I
butter
generally
coming.
enjoy getting my news from there.
Order up. Sonic garlic butter bacon burger.
My healing potion this
Crazy
morning is coffee
devices
with
and
cream.
consoles.
Eventually, you make your way to a giant gate, and behind it lies Zereth Mortis.
Oh, green, thank
Zereth
fuck.
Mortis was created by the first ones, and it is intended to create afterlives.
Think of it as being tucked away in the fabric of the Shadowlands itself. It's kind of the behind the scenes of these afterlives that we've journeyed to.
Okay,
It's the
pretty.
land where the progenitors, the first ones who created all of the realms of the Shadowlands, this is their workshop.
They've created everything we've experienced in Azeroth and Shadowlands, and even the realms we haven't discovered yet.
These first ones built the universe, as far as we know, but their intentions or methods are completely unknown.
But of course, the Jailer's presence here is disrupting this process. And we're working to push back against the Jailer's forces and protect this place.
Thank God it's colourful. That's my main
I think
reaction.
the artists
oh,
have done a fantastic
I
job.
agree.
And I know they did a lot of research, and they looked at a lot of
Torghast has been
real-life
awful.
examples of very strange places in the
does
real
look like
world.
Ianar's place.
As a
Yeah,
team,
you're
we
right.
were really trying to make this
I
place
love this
as
one, by the way.
alien as possible, so we really wanted to make everything feel completely unique and completely different. Our trees here are floating.
Oh, I
We
love the
have
fucking
stones
round
that are floating.
fountain
We even have
things.
the massive Forge of Afterlives that is floating in the center of the zone.
Oh,
And true
that's
to
so
its
cool.
name, it's something that is kind of putting together a new afterlife to be sent out into the Shadowlands.
We have this water all around you because water is really the catalyst for any kind of creation.
It's actually unlike any other water that we've seen before. This is actually water that we can walk on. It almost creates like a threshold between Zereth Mortis and some other kind of more primordial space right below
Very
it.
interesting idea.
Everything you see in Zereth Mortis has a purpose, an intention behind it. For us, it
Water
was really
has been
important to
buffed.
find ways to convey that intention in the environment itself.
They
And one of
buffed
the ways in
water,
which we
fam.
did it was through this duality between a lush and a dry biome. In the dry biome, we see perhaps what the original look of the zone
Oh,
was
we got
when
the,
progenitors were first establishing this workspace for themselves.
Got the Ben Shapiro
And
wife
in the
zone.
lush biome, we see the result of their experimentation with plant life and fauna and things like that.
These are all test beds for what we'll eventually
I
see.
love experimentation with plant life and fauna.
From there, we started
It's my
thinking about what
permaculture
kinds
project.
of creatures would be in this place that are fundamentally prototypes. There's terraforming here. There's creatures that are
Oh,
building
this is really cool.
afterlives. We tried to really stretch and think what that might be like.
This is actually
My
pretty
personal
cool.
favorite includes the giant armored snail, and we also have a progenitor chicken, which answers the question of what came first.
All right.
They went there.
These
Good line,
first
fair
ones who crafted Zereth Mortis, what they left behind were the Automa, meant to take care of the place and make sure that it fulfilled its function to create afterlives.
The Automa have several different classes, and you can see
Whiskey,
this in
yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
silhouettes. We have the builders, we have the protectors, we have the casters, and each one of them have a specific role within the Shadowlands. And then you'll also discover the Jiro, which are a part of the Automa. They're a little more quirky, they have a little
Yeah,
more
was the
personality.
Arbiter an
They are
Automa
a
then?
little more sentient than the other Automa, so some of them even split off to pursue their own
11-minute
desires.
videos, pretty good.
Unfortunately, when we found our way in, Devourers also found their way in.
Oh,
They
boo!
are ravenous.
They're consuming this weird energy, and it's causing them to mutate and to fall apart.
And the Automa, where they are confronted by them, some of them are fighting them off.
And so it's going to take some time for them to understand that we're here trying to help them drive out this threat.
The Enlightened.
Fortunately, we've got some
I'm enjoying
allies.
this,
There
I've
are
gotta
some
say.
enlightened brokers here that we're going to be working with.
But it's a broker that arrived here quite a long time ago and has had a change of heart from looking at the world as a very transactional place to seeing this place as a holy place, a sacred place.
I like this a lot.
We meet an enlightened one named Fareem, and Fareem needs our assistance, and in return, he leads us to Haven.
Which is a hub that has been created out of progenitor
tribute?
ruins, and this is where the Enlightened really have made their home.
Haven serves as our foothold here, as well as use it as a base of operations and really start unlocking the mysteries of this land.
The enlightened
Haven
brokers
rep.
are intent on protecting and preserving the work of the first ones here, but now they're seeing Zoval bring his forces against the Automa and tear up the land, and they are eager for assistance.
The brokers themselves are very
orb's gonna
ostentatious. They're
grow.
very into materialism,
No, man,
but
that's
the
a lot of work.
enlightened are not that at all. They have relinquished this material way, and you'll see this reflected in
I
their
like
clothes.
this a
They're a little
lot.
tattered, they're a little faded, because it just isn't important to them anymore. They're just here for the pursuit of knowledge.
Cipher
That's
of
why
the
we're
person.
all here,
Now we're
actually, turns
When
out.
players arrive, they're kind of fishes out of water. And one of the first things that we have to do is start learning how to communicking with the automa. Think of it as
Oh, I
a
recognize
kind
that
of
symbol.
runic language. Based
I
in
recognize these
symbols.
runes.
We will bond with a small construct who's pretty cute, actually. And with his assistance and the assistance of Fareem, we will learn eventually how to understand the symbols through the cipher of the first ones.
We'll uncover different parts of this alphabet and start to learn more about the progenitors and Zereth Mortis itself.
It will allow you to unlock new and different forms of content. So that can range from daily quests to new options on the vendors to places to explore and new side quests that open up. So it's really the gateway to exploring the far reaches of Zereth Mortis.
As we looked into the development of Cipher of the First Ones, we wanted something that was unique that players haven't seen before. A little bit of familiarity, but something that takes that to the next level.
Sounds a bit
We
like
really
research, doesn't it?
involved the whole team in this creative process. We worked with our UI team to be able to represent those through text, through these things talking and seeing them on screen in chat bubbles and in our chat window. Little by little, these kind
good
of
for
runes
RP.
start taking shape into words that we recognize. But it's going to be a process that unfolds over the course of playing through Eternity's End. The automa speak in this kind of musical language. They don't talk the way that we mortals are used to speaking. The sound team was super excited. They jumped in, they started prototyping all kinds of different sounds. We listened, we gave feedback, and we really ended up in a cool place.
Look, I like the idea.
As you're
I'm
playing
just not
through and
liking
gradually unlocking
how
the
I
language,
think
you'll
it's
be
gonna
able to
work.
see those words that they're saying, but still hear those tones.
like.
The jailer's true goal
I'm
has never
open-minded.
really been to escape the Maw or to gain power. He's been focused on reaching this place called the Sepulchre, to go into this place of power and to really rewrite the rules of the universe. We'll learn that the jailer has breached the Sepulchre of the First Ones, and this becomes our new raid for Eternity's End. We're going to gather our forces, we're going to pursue the jailer inside. Once you go inside the Sepulchre, there's some mind-blowing visuals. This is a place that should not be able to exist according to the laws of physics as we know them on Azeroth.
Oh,
Just
that looks
looking
cool.
out into this impossible sky of seeing these ancient
Yeah, a raid that
works
isn't
of
ground.
the First Ones. Those laws don't apply to anything we see.
Among the bosses that we're going to face in Sepulchre of the First Ones include the Jailer's forces, maybe a
Wait.
Dreadlord or two that you haven't tied up loose ends with. We'll
Okay.
face a Consular. This is similar to a being like Algalon, but the Jailer's gotten to it and has infused his domination magic into the Consular. Before we get to
dominated
the Jailer,
Algalon?
however, we need to get to Anduin first. Our hope is that
Whoa,
we
did you
can
see
learn
Sylvanas in
whatever
that shot?
Anduin knows about
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh, don't do it.
Wait!
Jailer's
Did
gotten
you see
to it and
Sylvanas
has
there?
infused his domination magic into the Consular. Before we get
Is that Sylvanas? No, that's a raider. Okay, that's a raider. Sorry. No, she's big. She's too big to be a raider. Okay, let's carry on.
get to the Jailer, however, we need to get to Anduin first. Our hope is that we can learn whatever Anduin knows about domination magic. We need to be able to resist it,
Placeholder,
or
yeah.
better yet, fight it.
Tier sets fan.
We know players have been waiting a long time for the return of tier sets, and as devs, we have too.
It's a great blend of progenitor magic, golds, and metals,
good.
along with those class.
Oh, looks like
defining
one for each
silhouettes.
class. That's awesome.
Wolves for shamans, pointy things
Okay,
for
okay,
rogues.
cool. They're,
It's gonna look
class
amazing.
sets.
Our class and combat team was super excited
Thank you,
to
Buster
bring
Man.
class sets back. This is something that felt really right for the story. We're in the final act of the Shadowlands
Oh, thank God.
saga. We're here literally on the brink at Eternity's End.
Oh,
And
yes,
what
good
look at
for
that!
class
That's fucking
balance.
awesome!
It's good
Wait,
for
wait.
The
a
Shadowlands
tuning
saga.
knob.
We're
Just
here
tune the fucking
literally on the
tier
brink at
bonuses.
Eternity's End.
That's awesome. That is sick. That is sick. That's awesome. That's a bug? No, that's how it's supposed to look. That's cool.
And what better place to fully unleash the power of these classes? And I think players will really enjoy the return of those class sets just as much as the team enjoyed making them.
I think that's true.
How do you make something that is mystical and magical and incomprehensible and yet understandable? I think we've done a good job of finding that line.
The team as a whole has been working so hard, and we are so excited to get this out for everyone.
We're gonna get new mounts, new pets.
A bit horrifying for me, but exciting for some, is the fact that, you know, some of the spider mounts can now fly. Who needs flying spiders? But that's also going to be a cool thing for people.
We have updates to professions, to soulbinds, to conduits. There's a new dancing minigame in Darkmoon Fair.
I'm a story guy, so I'm super geeked about watching players kind of piece together those little lore tidbits. That's what excites me as well.
I'm really looking forward to Season 3 of Mythic Plus. Tazavesh is getting split into 2 dungeons. If you're a raider, if you chase Keystone Master, if you're an achievement collector, there's something for everyone to do in this.
Shadowlands is like the final chapter of one book of the Warcraft saga, and our team is already hard at work on the next stories to come. Can't talk about them quite yet, but when the time is right, we're going to be really excited to share them with you.
What do we think, fam? Learn more at worldofwarcraft.com. I will.
Okay, I'm gonna get my thoughts out.
I will, thanks. Don't mind if...
It seems to me that the Blizzard developers, the ones who are in charge of the story, have taken in a lot of these spiritual enlightenment paths for themselves, and they have an understanding that they're trying to explain to the layperson in an understandable way. When it comes to quantum physics, spirituality, the multiverse, how life and death actually work. You hear Tesla call it a simulation all the time. I'm very excited to experience this story. Incredibly excited. Because I dig that shit, man. Avatar, The Last Airbender, Game of Thrones, you know, the Song of Ice and Fire series, all of that. The multiverse that Cirilla experiences in The Witcher 3 in the Witcher book series. The ability to tap in through meditation to energies that exist beyond normal human understanding of our physical realm. Is matter what we think it is? Is matter just condensed energy? I'm excited to hear this story. I'm very happy about the class quests. I'm happy that there are colorful and beautiful zones to explore with things like floating trees. So I hope and I believe that this will be kind of the last great cosmic threat. I'm getting, personally, a little bit sick of the sci-fi aspect of World of Warcraft. I like the ancient spiritualism aspect of it. When I come to Azeroth, I come for lighting Wicker Man, for fallen ancestors, the what we do, and not necessarily all the answers to the why we do. That said, I'm glad they went there in this game. I would prefer more of a spiritual side and less of a science fiction side, and more player choice that affects their outcomes and their surroundings in the world. So I'm interested to see what they have coming in 10.0. Very interested. I've played every goddamn game that Blizzard has ever made anyway, so I might as well keep going and see the story. Whether or not I stay engaged kind of depends on my own personal life and on how engaging I find the content to be. So like the class fantasy that they nailed in Legion, they continue down that path, I'll probably be more engaged. I do have a lot going on in my own life. So limited time compared to what I used to put in when I was a pretty hardcore addict. But I am the type of customer, I believe, that Blizzard likes to maintain. The people that engage with their story that they build. Dota has its charm, but I bought Warcraft 3. I did not buy Dota or Dota 2, if I can recall correctly. I may have, I don't know. I didn't play it long. I wasn't invested with the characters in Dota 2. I wasn't invested with the characters in League of Legends. I didn't like the mixture of the sci-fi and the fantasy that came with Heroes of the Storm. I don't know, it's just too jarring for me. I like to be able to immerse myself in my world. World of Warcraft I view as a fantasy world. Very Tolkien-esque. I like to walk through it and think about shit like, what does the One Ring actually mean? You know? Is it that no man is incorruptible, but everything is corruptible also? Like, there are things that sort of come to me when I just try and focus my attention on one aspect of reality. So like the quantum physics side of things, that's what I dig into sci-fi for. That's why I read Dune and learn about terraforming planets. I do like the marriage of the sci-fi and the fantasy in Avatar, the movies, not the Airbender series, but the, I think James Cameron movies. That was, like, when it's a return to nature, those are the kinds of stories I like. I believe that's probably where, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going, is Groot is going to become more prominent. Peter Quill also. I feel is likely to become more prominent because that's the way, in my opinion, the world needs to go. Is a little bit less man does it better than God, or the universe, or evolution, or the Great Spirit, or the breath of life, or whatever you want to call it. Pranayama, the oneness of all things. I still think Blizzard should outsource a lot of their art. You could let fans do your recolors for you. You could let fans submit custom armor art that you can put your Blizzard polish on and put in your game. You could pay them to do it. They could be contractors. Because you have a very talented fan base that knows their shit. Like, I can jump in numerous discords and find answers to any questions that I might have about how to develop armor for your game should I choose to do that. I'm busy with my permaculture stuff, but when I was a kid I would have done that shit all day. made armor for my character. So overall, I'm excited for what's coming. I look forward to possibly more emphasis on the RP side, more storytelling of the players within game, like contests where fans can upvote what guild they feel told the best story in the lead up to the first boss kill or the final boss kill. The characters involved, not just the big story beats. That, I feel, would be cool. They could get their characters in the game. Their characters could be... They could have veto power on what's actually put in there and, like, what their character would do, and they could be consulted if they have time and inclination. Like, it could be fun for everybody involved. But I'm trying to keep this video relatively short, so... My name is Taylor Hansen of Keepers of the Orchard Grove YouTube channel. I have a permaculture, suburban permaculture gardening content playlist, and I have a couple of RP playlists, the Chronicles of Adam Flint and the Chronicles of Yogipete, which I've just started and haven't really developed yet, my character, but I will tell the story. I will tell, hopefully eventually I'll get through all of WoW's expansions that are current, like all of them, except for vanilla, I guess. On my RP characters on Moonguard, Horde and Alliance. Two different sides of the same yin-yang, if you will. Nemesis, rivals, counterparts, intertwined by fate. We'll find out. I make that shit up as I go along, so if you're interested, Keepers of the Orchard Grove on YouTube, please consider a like and a subscribe. I'm also putting in for the Community Council for Blizzard Entertainment. That is why I'm doing this right now, so... Anyway, stay weird and be kind.